Hi, you've tuned into the Administrators Table. I'm Steve Contenti, Bristol Town Administrator. Today is Wednesday, January 26, 2022. I'm pleased to have a special guest on today, Superintendent of Schools for the Bristol-Warren Regional School Department, Ms. Anna Riley. Anna, welcome to the Administrators Table.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
So Anna, you've been here in Bristol and Warren for how many months now?
About 4 weeks.
4 weeks?
Steve.
Oh my, it seems like months. Well, there's been a lot going on.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's really, thank you for your willingness to come on. You didn't hesitate when I called, and I really appreciate that. I think it's so important that the residents and the students get to know their superintendent, and I just want to say right away here that we really appreciate you being here in Bristol and Warren, and we're really hopeful about our future, and we appreciate all of your professional experience and the talent that you bring to the district. So thank you and welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm excited to be here. I spent my years as a teacher and a principal and a central administrator in Massachusetts for about 20 years before coming to Rhode Island, and then had the great fortune to be the superintendent in Portsmouth for 5.5 years before becoming the deputy commissioner at the Rhode Island Department of Ed for the last 2 years, and now for the last 4 weeks here in Bristol-Warren as the superintendent. I'm really excited to start the work and be a part of this team. Oh,
terrific. Yeah, I know you're not, you're somewhat local. You're right across Mount Hope Bay. You hail from Fall River.
Yeah, born and raised in Fall River. My husband and I still live there. We grew up there, and we have raised our 6 children there, so I am the mom of 6. I just have one in K-12 right now, my youngest. He is a 6th grader, so we're really excited watching them grow up and become their own adults and grow into their own. It's exciting.
That's terrific. So you can certainly appreciate the challenges of the pandemic with the parents and the kids, the students trying to stay in school, and
yes.
You've done remarkably well this far, keeping the schools open, keeping your staff and teachers and faculty safe and the students safe. So thank you for that.
You're welcome. That's our goal. We really need our students to be in school. That's how, if we've learned anything over the last 2 years, is children learn best in that face-to-face instruction. And I have to say, my 2 years at the state happened to be right when the pandemic started, all the way through the last month. And so I really feel like I learned a lot and did a lot of work with so many of the health experts at the Rhode Island Department of Health, and was able to learn about all the mitigations and all the things we can do to keep kids safe and keep them in school. So I'm excited to bring that expertise to the district. And you're right, our goal is in person, and we've been doing a good job. I think we've really managed to keep kids safe. We have great testing protocols. We keep supporting vaccine clinics, working with the town, to offer that whenever possible. But that's the goal, keeping kids in school in front of their teachers.
That's terrific. Another major project that you're going on here is the school budget. So you started 4 weeks ago. That's prime budget time for the district, right?
Yes, it is. Actually, a little later than I typically would like to start the budget, because really to build a good budget, you have to collaborate with your principals and really build that in. So I'm kind of on a speed track right now, because I came in December when really the budgets were being worked on by the principals, working together with our new business manager, Anthony Ferrucci, who's great. So we're really building our first budget together, which in and of itself takes a little practice in getting to know each other. But we're doing it, and we will have it all on time for you.
Great. Yeah. I know Tony Federucci, he's
yes.
been great with our finance director, Julie Gauscher, and they've built a very strong professional relationship, and it's so important that the municipality is here to help the school district. It's one of our main priorities is supporting the school district and our students. So I just have to reiterate that we're here to help wherever we can, and I wish you the greatest success in the future. I hope you stay here, and Tony, for many years.
Thank you. Thank you. It's really, I find the work is always easier when we're a team, and so the partnership is so important. Working with both Bristol and Warren, making sure that our priorities are the town's priorities, and that we're working together to get to those goals, because really the schools lead the way for the town. You know, communities are places people want to move because of schools, and so the better we are, the better both communities are, and so we have that common vision to work towards.
Yeah, terrific. So the district really has some great schools, some really talented staff. I can tell you, my children are in the district. I know I've told you that before, but I'm really impressed with what they're learning and how they're learning. So, you know, I'm assuming you had an opportunity to get into all the schools.
I have. I have visited all of the schools really for a facilities tour. This week I'm starting to build into my schedule a full day of just spending time in schools, walking through classrooms, getting to know teachers and students. It takes a little while for students to get to know the superintendent because they only see the superintendent once in a while. It's not like their principal or their classroom teacher, but I like for the kids to know me. I try to attend events. I like to go to the basketball games and the hockey games and just make sure the kids know that I work for them. I'm here to support them and make sure we have that great district so that you're proud to send your kids to school every day in our system, and so are all of our parents. I think I mentioned to you earlier that I'm the mom of 6. That's how I treat this job. Like, I'm doing this so that every child, I would do this for my child, and that's how I approach the work that I do. So it's important for me to get to know kids. My favorite day of the year is graduation, because that's the day that we see the culmination of all the work that happened in the district. You know, students have been with us from kindergarten, age 5, all the way through 12th grade, and they're 18 and we're sending them off into the world. And for me, that day is what we work towards. How do we get every kid ready to go, ready to graduate college and career, whatever their path is, they're ready for it. And so that's what we all work towards, and I think your having children in the school keeps the town invested, so that's exciting for me. But it is really, I'm getting to know the district and I'm excited about it. And I'm not sure if you're aware that the district is just embarking on a new strategic plan.
I've heard, yeah.
Good. So they've had some good community involvement to date. We're going to bring those groups back together. Make sure that all of the components of the strategic plan are worked through, that we have measurable goals and timelines, and then we're going to come out and do a public demonstration of that. So hopefully you'll have me back and I can talk a little bit more about that. But we want lots of public input. So once we put it out, we hope that we'll get lots of feedback from the community.
Oh, I'm sure you will, and we'd love to have you back. And one other question, you are bilingual, right?
I am. So I am the first person in my family to be born here. My parents came to this country. They immigrated here after they were married, and I was born here. But typical of many many children my age who came over with their families, I didn't speak any English until I went to school. And so I learned English at school. I do speak Portuguese. My parents, of course, still speak Portuguese. My grandparents have passed on, but they lived with us, you know, for most of my young life. And so Portuguese was the language we spoke at home.
Nice.
So.
Good fit for Bristol and Warren.
It is exciting. I love to be in a community where there are lots of Portuguese speakers. I think we have a common history that always brings about great conversation.
Yeah, great. Yeah. Well, residents of Bristol, here we have our Superintendent of Schools, Anna Riley, and I'm so pleased again to have you here and to have you here leading our district. You're certainly a leader, and I'm sure the parents that heard you today are confident knowing that you're leading the district. So thank you for being here, and I can't wait to have you on again to give us some updates. And
you got it.
Okay, stay safe, stay well. Thank you, Anna. Okay. We'll be back in a minute with our next guests on the administrative table. We have Fire Chief Mike DeMello and Harbormaster Gregg Marsili with some updates. Hi, welcome back. Harbormaster Gregg Marsili, Fire Chief Mike DeMello, welcome to the administrators table.
Glad to be here.
All right.
Happy to.
Chief, you've been busy, and first off, I want to thank you for all of your efforts managing the pandemic the best that we can here in town, and at the same time overseeing the operations of the fire department. You've had a busy few years. And I just want to say what a remarkable job you've done. You know, right now there's a lot of talk of testing, take-home tests, and I want to thank you for that initial rollout when we did our test center at the Town Beach, the drive-up, the first municipal test center in the state. We have additional tests here in Bristol, right? We're working with the Bristol Health Equity Zone on getting them out to those most vulnerable populations. How can residents get take-home tests right now?
Yeah, well, first off, thanks. It's great to be back here, back in the studio, and not via Zoom or some other distance platform. But really, it's been a long couple of years now. It's been a team effort. I can't thank volunteer fire and EMS personnel enough, as well as my full-time staff that works with me daily. And really, the whole town came together, and even two towns came together when you look at the school district, and really work towards getting through this pandemic to the point we are now. And when we look at home testing, as you said, back last January, we had set up a drive-through testing when that was difficult to find at that time. So that worked well for us, got us through that first surge, and now we're dealing with this second surge. And we've worked with Bristol's Health Equity Zone. They've been able to get some tests out prior to Christmas, mostly to our senior population and vulnerable populations. The town did receive some tests. We saw a lot of that on the news. And we wanted to make sure that we, one, followed the FEMA guidance as best we could. But we also looked at, where the surge was impacting the town the most. So as you heard the school superintendent talk about keeping kids in school, we kind of looked at that. We saw hospital cases up for hospitalizations for children. And then we looked at the upcoming February vacation as another potential issue as people congregate for testing. So we've kind of focused to that, and we got a bunch of additional test kits to the schools so they can handle that particular time frame in the February vacation area. And we also got some more tests for the Health Equity Zone, which has been pushing that out to our seniors, our vulnerable population. We've also set up the availability for our town residents to call. If you're 65 and older or have immunocompromised or any other vulnerability, you can call our Senior Services Director, Mary Ann Quinn, over at the Rec Center, 253-1611, and make a request for a test, and we'll do our best to get them to you.
So that in addition, there are the federal test kits that can be mailed to your home, and that's the website is covidtests.gov, so they can be ordered, and I think there's up to 4 per household. Yep. And also there's the regular test center. The nearest one is at 655 Medicum Avenue in Bristol, and appointments for that are at portalri.gov.
Yeah, that's right. And we still have Barrington available, so the one up on Medicom Avenue is rapid testing only. If you need the PCR testing, that is still being done at the Barrington Shopping Center. And right now there seems to be a little bit of a drop-off, so you should be able to get an appointment rather easily.
Right. You're still running vaccination clinics at your headquarters, right?
Yeah, so on and off, we've been participating both in town and regionally, getting the COVID-19 vaccines out there, and even the flu vaccine out there of late. We started that back in mid-December at the fire station, 2 days a week. We were averaging about 125 people a day when we were open for COVID vaccination. This week is our last week right now that we have scheduled. We've had a pretty big drop-off in people registering, so we're going to take a week off. We're going to see what the climate is, how it looks, and maybe come up with some alternate ways to get the vaccine into the community, maybe bring the vaccine out into the community rather than just setting up in one spot and keep that going. So. Right.
Well, it's been very successful, remarkably successful.
Yeah, I mean, the total numbers participating over in the East Providence regional site, altogether we've been involved in vaccinating, I think, somewhere over 35,000 people, residents. So, but again, it's a lot of work, it's a lot of time, and everybody's been at it for a couple of years. So a little break, and then we'll get right back into it. Yeah.
Well, thank you, and thank you to the volunteers of the Bristol Fire Department. They really stepped up. Your equipment, you've got some new equipment.
We do. We took delivery of new Engine 2 towards the end of the summer, early fall, and obviously with the different COVID surges and spikes, the rollout and the training on it still still took place. You know, we didn't do the typical unveiling that we do in the open house, so everybody can come in and take a look at the truck. But you know, it's another step forward. Maintaining the equipment's very important. It affects our insurance service organization rating, so we're very cognizant of that, making sure that you know, we can get the residents in town the least expensive insurance rate that's possible. And you know, we went from a 4 to a 3, so we ticked up one more notch. So not sure if get a huge savings with that, but certainly equipment plays a big role in that, and being able to respond with that new equipment makes our job easier, and easier for the volunteers.
It's interesting that an engine typically is replaced after close to 25 years. So it's a huge upfront cost, but smoothed over the 25 years.
Yeah, we actually get close to 30, so we even get a little bit more on that. I always say I'm skeptical as we get more and more electronic based equipment on whether it'll last that long. But
yeah, agreed. And you have a new fire boat, which you've been very busy with the boat.
Yeah, we took delivery of that back in July 2020. In between active boating season, where we get out there for a lot of marine rescues when things don't go quite as planned. We've been out there quite a bit with that, and with fires. You know, we've had some fires locally that we've used the boat to extinguish, and we've helped out our neighbors both in Prudence Island and Hog Island at a couple of recent fires there. And as recent as a couple of weeks ago, we were over in Portsmouth. They had a fire in a boatyard there, and we pumped for several hours.
Yeah. So it's important to know that the funding for, it's called Marine 7.
Correct.
The majority of the funding was federal funds. So
Yeah. Yep.
as part of accepting the funds is that we would continue to assist other Narragansett Bay, Mount Hope Bay communities with that asset. So.
Right. Port Security Grant funding funded the bulk of the purchase of that boat. A couple other grants helped out with some of the equipment on it. Rhode Island has a very robust Narragansett Bay Marine Task Force, is what it's called. It's made up of all cities and towns that contribute their boats and their vessels for emergencies on the water. And that was part of the grant, as you said, so participating and being available to other communities when needed. I know the Harbormaster will talk about a marina expansion a little bit, so having this asset at our own marina is going to be a big help with all the different things we got going on the waterfront. Whether it's commercial or recreational, we'll be able to assist.
Definitely, yeah, we need it. How is your membership and participation in the companies? Is for volunteer companies that man and staff the apparatus. So how has participation been during the pandemic?
Yeah, I mean, we've had the same issues that any other business has had. You know, at times we'll have several members that may test positive and kind of be put on the shelf until they get through that symptomatic period and get out of quarantine. But all in all, it's been fairly strong through the pandemic. We've actually seen a little bit of interest. We've had some new applications, so I always put that out there. If you're looking to give back to the community and you're interested in volunteering as a firefighter or emergency medical provider, we can guide you on that journey. It's a great way to give back, and it's becomes another brotherhood, sisterhood, family type environment is what we try to foster. So
could you cover that again? So if there's somebody out there interested
Sure.
in joining the fire department, they would go through a probationary training and.
Yep. So we'll send them through a firefighter training. So that's for a lot of reasons we want to make sure that people are trained when we're out there. So probationary period's about a year. We try to get all that initial training there. They go through the Rhode Island Fire Academy. Same thing with the emergency medical services. We have an emergency medical responder program that we like to get them through. But real easy to join or to ask questions. You can stop by any of your local neighborhood fire stations when you see people there, ask some questions, or on our town website. We have a electronic form you could submit if you're interested as well.
Okay, right on the website. Great. Chief, thanks. And thanks for the lift yesterday out to the barge out in Narragansett Bay with the Harbormaster.
Yeah, no problem.
Which brings us into our Harbormaster's main project. Gregg, give us an update, please, on the marina expansion.
So the marina expansion, we started about 3 weeks ago doing the demo work on the old fishing pier. Yesterday, as you alluded to, we went out and took a look at the new floating concrete breakwater. We took delivery from them. They got shipped over from Sweden via Baltimore, Philly, then to us yesterday. They're built to withstand a 5-foot sea before they start moving violently, but it'll take all the swell action that we get typically in the summer with the southwest winds from about the Elks Lodge all the way out to the hotel. So that'll help us out, and it'll help out where we put the fuel pier on State Street Dock. So the rest of the stuff's going, it's coming. It's a very supply driven. With COVID, it's taking some time to get some of the equipment in, but we should be open by Memorial Day.
Yeah,
Is what the goal is.
It's going to be great. It's what I really like about it is that this is something every resident in Bristol can enjoy. 650 feet out into Bristol Harbor, even the views alone are terrific out there. You'll allow some fishing areas on the.
We're going to have public access 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for the public to go out there, walk on the pier. The main concrete pier is 16 feet wide, so it's plenty wide. And then people will be able to fish on the outside pier. In the northwest corner, we're going to hopefully by the summer set up some type of fishing station out there with some rod holders, that type of stuff, so people can still access. We're just going to ask people to stay 25, 30 feet away from the boats if they're tied up on the outside of the pier. But they'll be able to fish and whatnot. Gets them out a little deeper water too, so it should be good.
That's important. In that, so the dock actually acts as a breakwater for the existing Rockwell dock in the Church Street slips.
Yeah.
Right?
So it'll act as a breakwater for the ferry dock, and then Rockwell, the transient slip at Rockwell dock that we use now. It'll increase between 48 and 50 residents will come off the list. Get seasonal slips. We'll have plenty of transient slips available for boaters. Big boats on the outside, the fast ferry. Be able to come in, and then it adds to having the fuel pier.
Yeah. So the main dock, what's interesting about it is there's no pylons. So sometimes at low tide you see the pylons like really high up in the air. There aren't any pylons on this.
No.
The finger piers, yes, but the actual concrete, 16 feet wide by 650 feet long, that's actually on a cord system, right, with anchors.
So it's a mooring system. It eliminates the having all the piles out there, and you don't have that force the piles. And so they're on the bottom. There's 16-ton concrete blocks with a little anchor cut into them, and they're attached to a rope technology, and then it goes to a C-flex system, and I'll simple it down to it's like rubber bands. There's 16 1.5 3/4 inch rubber bands in about an 8-10 foot section, and then it goes back to rope, and that gets tension through the dock. Yeah. So that'll hold the dock from moving in a circle, because it's 48 different points it's being pulled on. So it just rises and falls. The waves will slap against it, but it'll take the wave action out. So it's new technology for Bristol, but they use it around the world. So
yeah. I think there's a similar type of a system up at Save the Bay, right?
Save the Bay up in Providence has a concrete float similar to ours. They use heavy chain. The state wanted us to try this, and we went forward with it. And there's nothing on the bottom but these 16-ton blocks. So there's nothing abrasive. So it's environmental friendly system.
What I noticed when I stepped off Marine 7 onto the concrete float, and a few of us stepped onto it, didn't budge. And it was pretty calm out, but still, I thought it almost felt like we were stepping on land.
Yeah.
The floats did not move.
No, and you'll see a little more too once we get it installed, and we'll try to get some pictures, because when you got there yesterday, all you saw was the top deck. It goes down 5 feet in the water, and underneath of it, it's built out, and it kind of goes in a wave function underneath. So that's what pulls that wave out, and helps keep it stable. So all you see is the concrete deck. But we'll try to get some pictures up on the Harbormaster page of the entire dock, and so people can see what we're talking about.
Yeah, we have a lot to show this summer. We are doing many of the end of road repairs, and much of that is funded through the American Relief Plan. Fales Road we're looking at, Beach Road. This spring we're going to start up Wally Beach again. The seawall there, so we're going to try to improve our access to the water, because it's so important to get out there and recreate and get out into nature. So it's really part of a healthy community, Greg, what you do. We're also, you're also wrapping up the fuel pump project, right?
Fuel pump project is 97% done. We have final electrical inspection this week, and then next week we're trying to get some fuel delivered so we can get opened up.
Good.
We're going to open year-round.
Yeah.
We'll be open. Call the service, you know, just give the call on the radio or the office, and we'll run somebody out there. Summertime, we're going to be open 8 to an hour before closing, so like 8 to 8.
Good.
So.
The good news about all of this is it's self-funding, right? This isn't anything that's going to increase taxes. If anything, we are hoping that the revenues will offset our taxes.
Yeah, when we went out to go on this project, we decided early on, you know, you and I and the finance director, that it needs to be funded by the people using the waterfront. So the taxpayer that doesn't have a boat in the water, so it's not affecting their wallet at all. So it's just the users of the slips, everything will be priced accordingly to pay back the bond on it. So, and you know, other communities, and the big question is why a fuel pier? Why a fuel pier? And Sandwich, Mass did a fuel pier, the town, and their net revenues were $50,000 to $120,000 from start to finish, and they're still doing very well up there. And they're a little busier than us, but we're hoping to have the same numbers as they do, as people learn about us. You know, just getting out in the community and letting people know, hey, we're open.
Yeah, we are a port. We are a port, and it's an economic generator.
And we're not getting rid of the commercial fishermen.
Absolutely not.
We're keeping that commercial fishing. That's the roots of this town. So
I say that to you as we have a small fishing boat on the shelf behind you, Greg. It's part of our fabric of our community. You know, the Port of Bristol it benefits us by increases our business activity in town, and there's really no additional traffic, right? We don't have to worry about congestion with cars. They're coming in by boats, they're visiting, and we welcome them, and we wave when they leave, right?
We do. There's no parking spaces being taken up downtown, so it's great. It's a great opportunity for people to come and see our town.
Yeah, great. Well, we got the right guy in charge of this project. I knew you were the chief of the aids and navigation team in Bristol, and floats and buoys and channels. You speak that language like the best of them, Greg.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, and I appreciate all that you do.
Thank you.
And both of you, the other thing we often forget, you're out at every hour. I know that. When we get the call, you're out there on your boats, and those boats stay in year round. So we're surrounded by water on 3 sides, and it's important that we have both of you available and willing to times you put yourself in harm's way. So thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Well, it's great having both of you on. It was really nice having our superintendent of schools on. And I think we're just going to keep moving Bristol forward. Stay well, stay safe, and we'll see you next time on the administrator's table.